Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are demystifying the massive, sometimes totally chaotic universe of cryptocurrency that exists beyond just Bitcoin. Look, for a lot of folks, Bitcoin is the start and the exact end of the crypto conversation. But if you check the news, you're constantly bombarded with bizarre jargon, wild price swings, and honestly, just a ton of internet noise. So we're cutting through all that hype today to give you clear, actionable understanding. We're going to explore the thousands of other digital currencies out there, find out why they even exist in the first place, and see what they actually do in the real world. Think about the very first automobile ever invented. Absolute marvel, right? It proved a motorized engine could reliably get us from point A to point B. But, it didn't have GPS or air conditioning or advanced safety features. I mean, you wouldn't use a Model T Ford to haul heavy commercial freight across the country. Well, that is Bitcoin. It's incredibly secure, it's totally revolutionary, but it was designed to be relatively basic in its function. Altcoins, on the other hand, are the specialized modern vehicles. They're the electric cars, the heavy-duty trucks, the high-speed transit systems. They were built from the ground up to handle all the heavy lifting tasks that the original model just wasn't designed for. We're using this fantastic source material, Altcoins Explained, to guide us past all the confusing buzzwords and show you exactly how this tech operates. Think of this as our map for navigating what I like to call the digital city of Web3, which is basically the next generation of the internet built entirely on blockchain rather than centralized corporate servers. By the end of this explainer, we're completely bypassing the wild speculation and looking directly at the underlying technology making all of this possible. To keep things simple, we've broken our digital city into 5 neighborhoods: life beyond Bitcoin, the smart contract revolution, rebuilding finance from scratch, owning the digital world, and finally, opportunities, risks, and reality. Starting off with Section 1, Life Beyond Bitcoin, or the highway versus the city. Let's anchor ourselves with a core metaphor. If Bitcoin is the main highway connecting everyone, giving us a super secure path to move value, the altcoins are the diverse buildings, businesses, and infrastructure built up all around it. A highway is great, but without a bustling city around it, it really only gets you so far. So what is an altcoin? It's literally just an alternative coin. Any cryptocurrency that isn't Bitcoin. You see, when developers saw Bitcoin's undeniable success, they started asking some huge questions, like what if blockchains could run complex apps? What if they could execute legal agreements automatically? Bitcoin was intentionally kept simple to remain ultra-secure. Because of that limitation, developers had to create these altcoins with the computing power and flexibility needed to solve problems Bitcoin's original blueprint just wasn't meant to handle. Now, this brings us to a distinction that trips up a lot of beginners: the difference between coins and tokens. Think of a blockchain coin, like Ethereum or Solana, as a massive shopping mall. The coin owns the foundational infrastructure, the plumbing, the electricity, the security. Tokens, on the other hand, are the specialized individual stores operating inside that mall. They use the existing foundation instead of spending billions to build their own mall from scratch. And just like real stores, these tokens pay rent via transaction fees, using the native coin of the mall to keep their operations running. Moving to Section 2, the smart contract revolution, the foundation of the city. If we're building a digital city, platforms like Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano act as the core operating systems. They are the actual foundation allowing this entire ecosystem to thrive. To really get these platforms, we have to define a smart contract. Simply put, it's a self-executing digital agreement stored permanently on the blockchain. The absolute game changer here, it completely removes the need for any human middleman. Imagine buying a house without a real estate agent, a title company, or a bank. The contract holds the funds, verifies the legal conditions, and transfers the digital deed instantly. No manager to approve it, it strictly enforces itself. The mechanics behind this are actually pretty straightforward, happening in 4 logical steps. First, developers write the rules of the agreement using standard programming code. Second, they upload that finalized contract directly to the blockchain, meaning it can never be altered. Third, users interact with it and meet the required conditions, like depositing funds. And fourth, boom, it auto-executes perfectly and instantly, every single time, with zero room for human error. If that sounds a bit abstract, just picture a traditional vending machine. You reach in your pocket, put your money in, press a button, and the machine mechanically verifies your payment. Once that condition is met, it reliably drops your snack. There's no cashier sitting inside deciding whether to give you the food or not. Smart contracts take that exact same automated, trustless logic and apply it to complex digital agreements and massive global financial transactions. All right, Section 3, Rebuilding Finance from Scratch, or the Financial District. Let's tackle the notorious volatility of the crypto market and see how visionary developers are actually rebuilding banking from the ground up through decentralized finance. Let's organize the chaos of the broader crypto market into some clean categories, because not all altcoins are trying to be the next Bitcoin. First up, stablecoins. These are pegged to real-world assets like the US dollar, specifically designed to solve those wild price swings and give you a reliable medium of exchange. Then we have governance tokens. These are a lot like owning shares in a company. They give you actual voting rights to dictate the future direction of a specific project. Finally, utility tokens. Think of these as digital access passes or arcade tokens. You literally need them to access and use specific digital products or services on a platform. In our traditional system, banks are the ultimate gatekeepers, right? They store your funds, manually evaluate your credit, and ultimately control your access to your own money. But in decentralized finance, or DeFi, the software becomes the bank. By relying entirely on those smart contracts we just talked about, the system allows anyone, anywhere with an internet connection, to lend out savings, borrow against assets, and trade peer-to-peer. The borderless nature of it completely democratizes access to financial tools. Next up, Section 4, Owning the Digital World, our entertainment district. This is where the core concepts of gaming, digital art, and online ownership are being entirely rewritten for a new era. Before we get into art and games, we need to define an NFT, a non-fungible token. To get this, you have to know what fungible actually means. Look, if I trade you a $1 bill for another $1 bill, neither of us cares. They're identical and perfectly interchangeable. They are fungible. But an NFT is like the Mona Lisa. There's only one mathematically unique version. It acts as an unforgeable digital certificate of ownership, recorded permanently on the blockchain, proving that a specific digital asset is truly one of a kind. This right here is why gamers care so much. Every year, players spend billions on digital items, skins and weapons inside video games. But instead of actually owning those items, you're basically just renting them from a central company that could literally shut down your account tomorrow. Web3 blockchain gaming tokens flip the script completely. They let you actually own your hard-earned digital property. You hold the asset directly in your own digital wallet, meaning you can trade it, sell it, or hold on to it freely, even totally outside of the game itself. Section 5. Opportunities, risks, and reality. The reality check. We've toured the glossy buildings, the innovative financial districts, and the booming entertainment centers of this digital city. But now it is time to take a very sobering look at the hazards lurking just around the corner. Make absolutely no mistake, this space is incredibly risky. If you're entering this market, you have to navigate extreme volatility, where a token's price can just plummet overnight. You've got to watch out for pump and dump scams driven entirely by manufactured social media hype. Add to that the very real danger of rapid project failures where companies just go bankrupt and vanish. Oh, and the severe security risks. If you lose your digital wallet password, you lose your funds permanently. There is no customer service hotline to call. Plus, you're dealing with constantly shifting global regulations. It's a remarkably powerful frontier, but it is undeniably dangerous. To protect yourself in this chaotic market, there's one golden rule from our source material that you absolutely must internalize. Value always, eventually, flows toward utility. Let that sink in for a second. Hype absolutely fades. Speculative bubbles always crash. But the platforms and tokens that provide genuine, undeniable usefulness to real people, those are the ones that quietly build lasting, unshakable foundations. Which brings us to the final, most critical question we have to face today. Out of the thousands and thousands of altcoins out there right now, fiercely competing for attention, development, and capital, which ones will actually survive the test of time? The answer is incredibly clear. Only the ones that solve real problems. The ultimate survivors of this massive technological shift won't be the projects with the most internet hype or the flashiest marketing campaigns. No way. They're going to be the highly specialized tools that actively solve real-world problems in finance, digital identity, global commerce, and digital ownership. When you evaluate an altcoin, don't ask how much the price is going to go up. Ask what actual problem it is trying to solve. So, looking at the digital apps and financial services you use every single day, which ones are quietly ripe for a decentralized revolution? Keep learning, stay curious, and hey, thanks for exploring this digital city with me.